a little bit.
Yeah.
What else have you got to tell us?
Well, I was sort of thinking also that there's other health issues that people just have every day of the year that aren't anything to do with Christmas. So it's sort of just worth thinking about how Christmas is going to impact on that, or whether or not there's anything you need to do specifically to keep yourself safer and healthier over the new year.
What are we saying here? That maybe you've got just a little something inside and you think, oh, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
What's going on.
Like if someone already has something like arthritis that drives them nuts, if they eat too much sugar, that might aggravate their joints, so they don't have as fun a time over the party
Christmas
season.
Yeah.
If people do have issues with their kidneys and they're not thinking about their water intake,
right?
You know, so, and you know how lower back pain can often be kidney pain. Yeah, so that's something that, you know, it's so common. It's so common in summer. It just seems crazy that we forget to drink water.
So if someone's got something happening now,
yes,
they can give you a call and
absolutely
have a chat about it. And, you know, you might be able to fix them up for Christmas and the New Year.
Yeah, that's right, and sort of sort them out with some maybe supplements or something to really help get them through with as least problem as possible. Sanu and I are open 2 days between Christmas and New Year, just the Wednesday and Thursday, and just for 3 hours from 10 till 1. So we are open in those days if anyone's got questions.
Okay, well listen, what is your phone number now, the contact number?
It's 3348 6098.
Edith Street, Wynnum.
94 Edith Street,
yeah. Now you're open next week.
We are, right up till
Wednesday,
Friday.
Thursday, is it?
No, all week next week. We've still got a week before Christmas.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
But then the week between Christmas and New Year, we're just open those couple of days. But we'll have it on the phone. I'm sure us girls can work out how to use the phone and change the message.
If you've got some little things, they're just going out. You think there's just not quite right something.
And also, one of the things that a lot of our clients, because, you know, weight loss is one of our specialties at New Leaf, and one of the things that we tend to do is this process called HCG, and a lot of people use, if they're keen on losing weight in the new year, a lot of people use 2 of their naughty days as binge days for HCG, because HCG is kicked off with 2 days eating anything you want. So while taking the homeopathic HCG drops. So basically that's something to think about as well. So if someone's thinking about, okay, well maybe it is time for me to lose 7, 10, 15 kilos next year, then, you know, if you use, say, Christmas and Boxing Day or New Year's Day, or, you know, basically you can use a couple of those days to really kick off the weight loss process. It really is quite spectacular. Have we chatted about the HCG at all? Does it ring a bell?
No.
So the sort of cool thing about it is that Dr. Simeon's developed it, and he died 45 years ago. So he was working on this process from 65 to 45 years ago, and he was the first person, certainly that I've ever heard of, who worked with the brain specifically to help with weight loss. So his theory, he was an Italian doctor, and his theory was that people's weight gain wasn't necessarily due to eating too much, it wasn't necessarily due to a lack of exercise. He believed it was a hormonal imbalance, where once the hormones are out of kilter, there's not a lot you can do about it. You can exercise till the cows come home and cut out your food until the cows come home, but it's not going to reset the whole metabolism. So he actually, it was sort of interesting, because when he was a very young doctor, the way he developed this was by going to Africa and India and seeing some of the poorest people in the world, but seeing these babies be born from starving mothers who were big, fat, healthy babies. And he thought, how does a pregnant, starving woman give birth to a big, fat, healthy baby? So he knew there was something to do with the pregnancy hormones that lays down fat in our bodies. So then he, after many, many years of research, he found that quite often it was traumas during birth that really messed up with people's metabolisms.
Right.
Which is just weird and interesting that he ended up putting it all together.
It's very interesting.
So for 20 years, he basically started experimenting with how many calories you needed, along with the he didn't use homeopathics, he used an actual injection of a pregnancy hormone, and basically to start getting the weight loss kicked in. And he developed a process that for the last 10 years of his life, he pretty much, you know, nutted it out, and it just works. And then, of course, as often happens with hormones, they now find that there's side effects with using the actual hormone. So now there's homeopathic HCG, which is the hormone.
HCG?
So HCG. Yeah, it's, no, I'm not going to try. It's human choreo, gonadotropin or something. Anyway, it's very long, but HCG is the easy way to think of it. But anyway, it's sort of, and what he sort of believed was that the first 2 days you needed to overeat. You know, how terrible is that over Christmas and Boxing Day? So, you know, it's a perfect time to be starting this process. And what he found was that once you kick the process into action, it actually eliminates fat cells. So most things in the body shrink fat cells.
Yeah.
So if you exercise and cut out your food or reduce your food, but most of the time your fat cells are still sitting there as empty little packets waiting to be filled up again, waiting for that next beer, waiting for that next bit of cheesecake. So that's why we can put on so much weight so quickly when the fat cells are still there and they're just like little empty balloons.
And isn't it funny, you see people and they're eating and you have a look, especially at a buffet or something like that. They go, oh, I'll have a big plate of this. And they take it back, they eat it, and they think, oh, I paid my price, I'll go and get it again.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, if only I could nicely tell them, cut back on your plate and it'll be much healthier for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet in the city a few weeks ago.
Oh,
but, you know, I just made sure I had plenty of oysters and prawns and the delicious stuff that's, you know.
So you're the one that took them?
I took them all.
All right, well, listen, we better get out of here, I think. And I thought that, well, just to sort of wrap it up, because you feel good, don't you?
I do.
I mean, feel good in health-wise. Yes.
Yes.
And I do too. So I thought, well, why don't we just have a nice, healthy little song? Now, you can intro it. Just say, I feel good.
I feel good.